My name is Tom. I'm 39 years old, and my wife, Rachel, is 36. We've been married for 11 years and have a son, Noah, who just turned 9. Our life, from the outside, looks stable: comfortable home, successful careers, and weekends filled with family activities. I work in logistics, managing supply chains, while Rachel is a marketing consultant who works from home. For years, I thought our relationship was solid. Routine, maybe, but dependable. That changes 3 months ago. Rachel starts acting differently. It's subtle at first: longer hours working, more time on her phone, and a new interest in her appearance. She's always been social, but now she's constantly texting, her phone always face down on the table. I notice how she stops being fully present when we're together. Conversations feel hollow, and she barely asks about my day. I chalk it up to work stress until I see the message. It happens on a Wednesday evening. I'm in the kitchen cleaning up while Rachel showers upstairs. Her phone buzzes on the counter. I wouldn't normally check, but something feels off. I glance at the screen. It's a message from a contact saved as Paul, old friend. Can't wait to see you again. Last night was amazing. My stomach twists. Old friend, she said when she first mentioned him weeks ago. Some classmate she ran into at a work event. She brushed it off like it was nothing. I put the phone down before my thoughts spiral further. For the rest of the night, I watch her more closely. She's distracted, distant, like she's already somewhere else. I don't confront her, not yet. I need more than a text. Over the next few days, I start paying attention. Rachel's patterns shift. She suddenly has more client meetings in the evenings. She leaves the house earlier and comes home later. When I ask about her schedule, her answers are vague. Something's happening. I just don't know how deep it goes. The confirmation comes a week later. I install a basic GPS tracker on her car, nothing complicated, just enough to track her location. The next time she says she's meeting a client, I check the app. She isn't at her usual meeting spot. She's at a hotel across town. I sit there, staring at the screen, feeling my stomach sink. I don't say anything when she gets home that night. I play along, pretending I'm none the wiser. But inside, something sharp takes hold. Whatever we had, whatever trust one thought existed, is gone. The next evening, I decide to confront her. Once Noah is asleep, I wait in the living room. Rachel walks in, still scrolling through her phone. She barely looks at me. How long has this been going on? I ask, keeping my voice calm. She freezes. What are you talking about? Paul, I say flatly. How long? Her face pales. She opens her mouth to lie, then stops herself. It's complicated, she says finally. I laugh under my breath. Complicated? You're sneaking off to hotels. I'd say that's pretty straightforward. She looks away, as if searching for the right words. I didn't plan for this to happen, Tom. It just did. How long? I repeat, my voice cold. 2 months, she admits, barely above a whisper. The weight of it settles on my chest. 2 months of lies. 2 months of watching her pull away while I pretended everything was fine. I don't get it, I say. Why would you throw everything away for this? She sighs, rubbing her temples like she's the one suffering. I'm not throwing everything away. I love you, but I needed something else. Something different. Different, I echo bitterly. And what am I supposed to do with that, Rachel? Just sit here and wait while you do whatever you want. Her eyes flash with something. Defensiveness, maybe. I didn't want to hurt you. But maybe we could make this work. If things were more open. I blink, not sure I heard her right. Open? You mean you want to keep seeing him? She nods slowly, as if she's offering some kind of gift. I'm not asking you to like it. But maybe if we had fewer rules, more freedom, it wouldn't feel like a betrayal. The audacity of it stuns me. So, let me get this straight, I say, keeping my voice steady. You want to see him? While I just sit here and accept it? You could do it too, she says quickly. If there's someone else. I wouldn't stop you. I just think it could work if we both had more freedom. For a moment, I can't speak. She's serious. She genuinely believes this is a solution. You think I want that? I ask. To share my wife with someone else? Her lips press into a thin line. I'm trying to be honest with you. I don't want to lose you, Tom, but I don't want to lose him either. A part of me wants to scream at her, to demand why I'm not enough. But another part, the calmer part, knows this conversation has already answered every question. I could refuse. I could put my foot down, demand she cut him off. But the cold, rational part of my brain is already working. If she wants an open relationship, fine. She can have it. but I'm not going to be the man waiting quietly in the background. Okay, I say finally. She blinks in surprise. What? You want an open relationship? Fine, I repeat. You can have it. Her relief is almost immediate. She probably thinks I'm giving in, agreeing to let her have her way. But what she doesn't realize is that the rules have changed. And soon enough, she's going to regret ever suggesting this. After that conversation, everything shifts. Rachel thinks she's won, that I'm quietly accepting her arrangement. She starts being more open about her time with Paul. She doesn't hide her late nights anymore, and when I ask where she's going, she tells me without hesitation. At first, I let her believe I'm fine with it. I don't question her, I don't argue, and most importantly, I don't show any emotion. If she notices how calm I am, she doesn't say anything. Maybe she assumes I'm too weak to challenge her. Maybe she thinks I'll never act on the freedom she so easily handed me. But I do. A week after our conversation, I reach out to someone I haven't spoken to in years, Hannah. We knew each other from my previous job, but I lost touch when I got married. We always got along well, and it doesn't take much to reconnect. She's single, easy to talk to, and most importantly, she has no connection to Rachel or our social circles. I meet Hannah for coffee the following Friday. It feels strange at first, sitting across from someone new while my wife is off doing whatever she wants, but I push the discomfort aside. If Rachel wants to rewrite the rules, I'm going to play by them. We talk for hours. Nothing heavy, just easy conversation. She's warm and attentive, something Rachel hasn't been in months. By the end of the evening, I know I'll see her again. When I get home, Rachel is already there. She's on the couch, scrolling through her phone, acting like everything is normal. How was your night? She asks, barely looking up. Good, I say. I met someone. For the first time since this started, I see her flinch. She laughs lightly, but it's forced. Really? That was fast. You said it was fine, I remind her. Isn't this what you wanted? She nods quickly, too quickly. Of course. I just didn't expect you to jump in so soon. Her reaction tells me everything I need to know. She never thought I would actually follow through. She assumed I'd sit back quietly while she explored her options. She's wrong. Over the next few weeks, I continue seeing Hannah. I don't hide it. When Rachel asks where I'm going, I tell her. When I get home late, I don't explain myself. I give her exactly the same treatment she's been giving me for months. And it's driving her crazy. The cracks start to show soon enough. Rachel becomes more curious about my schedule. She starts asking casual questions, where I'm going, how often I'm seeing Hannah. At first, she tries to play it cool, but her mask is slipping. The more I pull away, the more unsettled she becomes. One night, after I come home from dinner with Hannah, she's waiting for me in the kitchen. Are you serious about her? She asks suddenly. I shrug. Why does it matter? It doesn't, she says too quickly. I'm just curious. Her voice is tight, controlled. For someone who wanted freedom, she doesn't seem to enjoy the reality of it. A week later, she brings up Paul less often. The confidence she had when this started is fading. When she does go out, she doesn't stay out as late. And when she comes home, she watches me closely, like she's waiting for me to say something. I don't. The turning point comes when Noah, our son, starts to notice the change. I try to keep things normal for him, but he's a smart kid. He knows something is off. And as much as Rachel wants to pretend nothing's changed, children pick up on tension adults think they're hiding. One evening, while I'm helping him with homework, he asks me a question that catches me off guard. Dad, is your friend coming over again? I pause, keeping my voice calm. What friend, buddy? The nice lady, he says. The one who brought cookies. I smile faintly. Maybe. Did you like her? He nods enthusiastically. Yeah, she's funny. Rachel, sitting across the room, stiffens at his words. She tries to keep her expression neutral, but I see the flash of jealousy behind her eyes. For all her talk about openness, the idea of another woman being part of our son's life clearly unsettles her. After Noah goes to bed, she finally cracks. We need to talk, she says, her voice tense. I fold my arms, leaning against the kitchen counter. About what? Her, Rachel snaps. This woman you keep seeing. You're bringing her here? Around our son? I tilt my head. Why do you care? I thought we agreed this was fine. Her hands clench into fists. It's different when it's our home, Tom. You're letting him get attached to someone else. I laugh quietly. And what about Paul? You're perfectly fine sneaking off while I hold everything together, but the second I stop playing along, you suddenly have a problem. That's not fair, she says, her voice rising. Isn't it? I shoot back. You wanted this. I didn't ask for any of it, but now that I'm following your rules, you're falling apart. She doesn't answer right away. Her silence speaks volumes. I press on. What did you think was going to happen, Rachel? That you could do whatever you wanted while I just stayed the same? You didn't think I'd actually move on. Her face falls. For the first time, I see something that looks like real regret. You're changing, she says quietly. I nod. Maybe I am. But you're the one who started it. She swallows hard, and for once, she doesn't have a quick response. She wanted freedom. Now she's realizing it comes with a price. And soon, she's going to understand just how much she's lost. After that conversation, Rachel's behavior changes. She becomes more cautious, less confident. The woman who once insisted on an open relationship is suddenly uncomfortable with the reality she created. I can feel her watching me closely, even when she tries to act indifferent. She doesn't ask directly about Hannah again, but her questions become more pointed, always circling around the same idea. How serious is this getting? I don't give her answers. She didn't feel the need to explain herself when she was sneaking around. So why should I? One afternoon, while Noah is at a friend's house, Rachel corners me in the living room. Her expression is tense, like she's been holding something in for days. Is she coming here again? She asks, her voice tight. I glance up from my laptop. Why does it matter? Her hands tremble slightly at her sides. Because this is our home, Tom. I never brought Paul here. I let out a quiet laugh. Right. You just snuck around behind my back for months. But somehow, I'm the one crossing a line. Her face flushes with anger, but there's something else there too, fear. The control she thought she had over the situation is slipping. She wanted an open relationship, but she never imagined I'd actually play by her rules. You're dragging her into our lives, she snaps. I shake my head, keeping my voice steady. No, Rachel. You dragged this into our lives the moment you suggested it. I'm just following the plan you put in place. She stares at me, speechless. For the first time, the weight of her decisions seems to hit her fully. Over the next week, she becomes more agitated. She starts canceling her nights out, making excuses about being tired or having too much work. Paul isn't mentioned again, not once. I don't ask about him, and she doesn't offer any information. Whatever they had, it's clear that my actions have changed the dynamic. But for me, things are just beginning. I see Hannah more often, and I don't bother to hide it. I leave the house without explanations. I come home when I feel like it. And when I spend time with Noah, I include her in small ways. It's nothing inappropriate, just simple things like dropping by after a baseball game or bringing lunch to the park. Noah likes her. That part is obvious. And Rachel hates it. The final straw comes one evening when I return home from dinner with Hannah. Rachel is sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone, but I can tell she's been waiting for me. The second I walk in, she puts the phone down and looks up. We need to stop this, she says abruptly. I raise an eyebrow. Stop what? This, she gestures between us. The open relationship. It's not working. I lean against the doorway, arms crossed. It's not working for you. It seems to be going fine on my end. Her jaw clenches. I'm serious, Tom. This is tearing us apart. I laugh quietly, shaking my head. You didn't care when it was your idea. But the second you realize you're not in control, now it's a problem? She doesn't answer right away. Instead, she drops her gaze to the floor. I made a mistake, she admits softly. I let those words hang in the air for a long moment. Yeah, I finally say, my voice cold. You did. Her shoulders sag, the weight of everything hitting her at once. Can we fix this? She asks, almost desperate. I study her carefully, wondering if she really understands the damage she's caused. You can't undo what you started, Rachel. You opened this door. You don't get to close it just because you don't like where it's going. Tears gather in her eyes, but I feel nothing. No sympathy, no regret. This is the reality she chose. I thought it would make things better, she whispers. I laugh under my breath. Better for you, maybe. But you never thought about how this would affect me, or Noah. The mention of our son makes her flinch. For all her selfishness, she never wanted to drag him into this. But it's too late for that. She's already lost the moral high ground. A few days later, the situation takes another turn. I'm working in the garage when Noah comes outside with his usual energy. Dad, when's your friend coming back? He asks, his voice casual. I pause, setting down the wrench. Which friend? You know, he grins. The one who brings cookies. She's nice. Rachel hears this from the kitchen window. I don't acknowledge her presence, but I can feel the tension coming from inside the house. Whatever shred of control she thought she had left is gone. That night, she tries one last time to regain her footing. We're sitting across from each other after putting Noah to bed. She looks tired, like the weight of her choices is finally catching up with her. I want to end things with Paul, she says, her voice quiet. I don't react. Good for you. Her expression tightens. I'm serious, Tom. I want to fix this. I don't want to lose our family. I tilt my head slightly, watching her squirm. You wanted freedom. You wanted this relationship on your terms. And now that you realize it's not as easy as you thought, you want to undo it? Tears start to fall, but I feel nothing. She can cry all she wants. There's no fixing the mess she made. I'll stop everything, she pleads. Just stop seeing her. Please. I shake my head. You don't get to make demands anymore, Rachel. You lost that right the moment you decided our marriage wasn't enough for you. Her face crumples as she realizes she's lost all control over the situation. The power she once had, it's mine now. And soon, I'll make sure she understands exactly how much she's destroyed. A week after Rachel's desperate attempt to fix things, I make my decision. There's nothing left to save. She wanted freedom, wanted to rewrite the rules of our marriage, and now she's realizing that some choices can't be undone. I meet with a lawyer the following Monday. The process is straightforward. I gather evidence, her messages with Paul, the inconsistencies in her schedule, and everything else she thought I wouldn't notice. I don't tell her right away. I let her sit in the mess she created, watching as she grows more anxious with every passing day. Rachel senses the shift. She knows something is coming, but doesn't know when. Her questions become more invasive, more desperate. Are you still seeing her? Do you even want to fix this? I answer in vague phrases, giving her nothing concrete. It's no different from how she treated me for months. When the divorce papers arrive, her facade shatters completely. I leave them on the kitchen table one evening after dinner. There's no speech, no dramatic confrontation, just cold, legal reality spelled out in black and white. When she finds them, her face goes pale. For the first time since this all began, the panic is unmistakable. You're serious? She asks, her voice trembling. I nod. I am. Tears fill her eyes, but I don't feel anything anymore. Tom, please, she whispers. I made a mistake. We can fix this. I shake my head slowly. No, Rachel. You made a choice, and now you get to live with it. At first, she tries to negotiate, offering to cut off Paul, suggesting counseling, anything to turn things around. But it's too late for that. Whatever trust one had in her is gone. When she realizes I'm not changing my mind, the anger comes next. You didn't even try to understand. She snaps one night. I was struggling, and you weren't there. I laugh under my breath, shaking my head. I was here, Rachel. I never left. You're the one who decided that wasn't enough. Her anger doesn't last long. Reality hits harder than her pride can protect her from. The legal process moves quickly. My lawyer ensures I get primary custody of Noah. Given her actions and the evidence, I have a strong case. Rachel doesn't fight hard. Maybe she knows how badly she's messed up. Or maybe she just doesn't have the energy anymore. The day the divorce is finalized, I feel a strange mix of relief and exhaustion. The truth is, life doesn't magically get easier. Being a single father is harder than I expected. Balancing work and raising Noah on my own takes everything I have. Some days, the weight of it feels overwhelming. Other days, I wonder if I did the right thing, if I should have tried harder to hold the family together for Noah's sake. But then I remember the months I spent sitting in silence while Rachel lied to my face. I remember how easily she offered a one-sided arrangement, how she expected me to accept whatever she wanted without question. And any regret I feel fades. Rachel struggles after the divorce. Whatever excitement she found with Paul is long gone. Mutual friends tell me they broke things off soon after she realized the life she once had wasn't coming back. She moves into a small apartment a few miles away. Her relationship with Noah becomes strained. She loves him, I know that, but the damage is already done. He doesn't understand everything, but he knows enough to realize things will never be the same. I still see Hannah from time to time, but nothing serious comes of it. Maybe I'm not ready for that yet. Maybe I'm too focused on rebuilding what Rachel tore apart. Whatever the reason, I know one thing for sure. I'll never allow myself to be in a situation like that again. In the end, Rachel got the freedom she wanted, and it cost her everything. As for me, I'm still picking up the pieces. But at least now, I'm doing it on my terms.